Good morning, guys. This is Megan. This is our October video number 1. Today we're talking about finding the fat. What we want to look for is looking for the good fats and eliminating the bad fats. So we want to look for heart-healthy fats that we included in our diet and try and limit those extra fats. So we're going to give you some tips today to help you reduce the bad fats from your diet, but replacing those with the heart-healthier types of fats. We would recommend 30 to 70 grams of total fat per day. However, Americans tend to eat at least 100 or more grams of fat per day. And I would bet that those come from those bad fats, those that are not heart-healthy fats. So if you think about that 4 grams of fat, if you look at the label, 4 grams of fat equals 1 teaspoon of lard or shortening. So if you think about if a product has 16 grams of fat, that's 4 teaspoons of lard or shortening that you're taking in per day. And those aren't fats that are easily that our bodies are easily get rid of. So think about those. All right. So keep those in mind when you're looking at your fats. Excuse me. So we're looking at some ways to eliminate those saturated fats, the bad fats, saturated fats, or the ugly fats, which we'll call trans fats. So trans fats we'll say are ugly, and the saturated fats are bad. And then the good fats we want to include are the unsaturated and omega-3 fatty acids. So what we want to do is start with cleaning your pantry, clean out anything that's labeled partially hydrogenated or hydrogenated, and start looking for foods that contain nuts, seeds, oils, or salmon. Those will all be good unsaturated fats or omega-3 fatty acids. You want to look to become a no fried foods person. Enough of the restaurants are slowly replacing those partially hydrogenated fats, but they are usually not pure and unadulterated or unsaturated oil. So looking for any foods that are not fried will help keep you in check there. Being mindful of the number of times you eat cookies, pastries, donuts, and opt for a small size of a low-fat bran muffin, fruit, yogurt instead. Snack on a single handful of peanuts, walnuts, almonds, or pecans that are all good fats for you. But again, keeping those portion sizes in check. Note that I mentioned one small size, single size serving of those nuts because they can certainly add up as well. Think about when you prepare your garlic toast or your grilled sandwiches, looking at a spray or brush on canola or olive oil rather than butter or margarine will help keep your fats lower. And when you serve your, say, garlic bread, heat up your bread and serve it with some olive oil with some different seasonings, some rosemary, thyme, etc., where you can just dip it in there. Will also help cut the extra oils and fats that you're adding if you were to butter or put butter or margarine on there for some garlic toast. So think about serving warm bread with olive oil, and that would help keep it in check and having a better fat alternative. Get in the habit of sprinkling flaxseed on your yogurt. You can also include it in your baked goods, cookies, muffins, etc. Will add extra moistness, but it'll also add that extra nutritional value from those omega-3 fatty acids. Think about sauteing your onions in canola oil or olive oil rather than in butter. Butter is more saturated than lard and it contains cholesterol. So even though it has no trans fats, olive oil is a better choice. Looking for lean meats, low-fat cheeses, and skim milk, 0.5% or 1% milk. You're not losing any of the nutritional value from calcium, etc. when you decrease the amount of fat. You're just eliminating the extra fat that's found from whole milk to skim milk. And certainly find a happy medium. Many of you have maybe heard me tell patients or tell yourself that if you're drinking whole milk, I wouldn't ask you to go out today to drink skim milk. It'd be quite a change and you probably wouldn't stick with it. But slowly decrease the amount of fat that's in your milk. So For a few weeks, you may do 2% milk, slowly working to 1%, 0.5%, and skim milk. And even if you were to get at least to a 1%, that would be a significant change in the fat content from the whole milk that you were drinking. When you're baking, replace the fats with even amounts from applesauce, some smashed bananas, pumpkin, other smashed fruits will help eliminate the extra fat if you're replacing that with shortening or butter and putting those fruits in there. It'll keep it nice and moist, low fat, low calories, or lower in calories. And then you want to choose fish, aiming for at least twice a week, steering away from those fried fishes, but doing a nice baked fish will give you some omega-3s. Salmon, lake trout, and sardines are all good choices. So the bottom line is you want to keep your total fat intake as low as possible. Excuse me, I'm going to move my video here just a little bit so I can see my notes. Keep it back as little as possible. So cutting back on those bad fats or the ugly fats. So your your saturated and your trans fats, you want to cut back on those, eating as little as possible, and then adding back in your omega-3 fats, such as your olive oil, your fishes, flaxseed oil, etc. So look for things like olive oil on your salad, walnuts in your cereal, and salmon for dinner will help you increase your energy, help control your weight, and reduce your risk of heart disease, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. So looking for decreasing the amount of the bad fats from the saturated fats, the ugly fats from trans fats, decreasing those amounts as much as possible, but increase those unsaturated and those omega-3s will help keep your fat intake in check and get you on the road to better health. Thank you guys. Questions are due October 10th. Back to me. If you have any questions, please let me know. And we'll also have taste testing next Thursday, the 12th. Same time, same place. We'll see you all there. Thank you.